Hello everyone and welcome to our new lesson. Today we're going to have one of the most important topics in English language and I hope you like it. Let's get started. First, we have to listen to a track about one of the most ancient city in the world, which is Jericho. Let's listen to the track and then we're going to have some comments about the text.
Period 5, Activity 3.
The City of Palm Trees. Jericho is a small city which stands in a deep valley between Jerusalem and Amman, near the Dead Sea. This is a famous salt lake that is 400 meters below sea level and is the lowest place on earth. Jericho is most popular with tourists in the warm winter months. There are hotels for these visitors, and a lot of the people who live there work in tourism. Farming is also very important in this area. With large quantities of water and a warm climate, this part of Palestine is an excellent place to grow bananas and various other fruit and vegetable crops, including, of course, dates from all the palms. With its water and warm climate, human beings first started visiting the area 12,000 years ago. There were many people who chose to remain, and they became some of the world's first farmers. These were also the people that 500 years later constructed the first city in the world. Later, it had a high tower and stone walls which were almost 4 meters high. Tourists love seeing those walls today. They are a window on our most ancient past.
Okay, that's it. Let's go to the words, the new words in this text. First one, Jericho. Actually, Jericho is a city in the West Bank. It's a Palestinian city. So Jericho is an ancient city in the West Bank. And we have popular. Popular means very common among the general public. Popular. Very common among the, let's say, public. What else? We have also, let's say, ancient. Ancient means very old. Let's have more words. Various. Various means more than one. And what else? I think we have, let's say, climate. Climate means weather condition. Climate. So climate is weather conditions on an area for a certain time. Okay, let's go back to the text. As you see, here in the first sentence we have Jericho is a small city which stands in a deep valley between Jerusalem and Amman. We have to focus on the relative clause. What is a relative clause? A relative clause is a clause that adds an important thing to the sentence. For example, in the first sentence, we can say Jericho is a small city and stop. But if you want to add extra information or an important information, you can continue by adding which and a clause. So, relative clause is a clause that contain word like which, you see, which stands in a deep valley between Jerusalem. Now, I want you to have a look on the text and to find words like which. It means we have a relative clause. So, to know what is a relative clause, you have to know that we have to see which in a sentence, and then let's say verb after which. As you see, first one, which stands. Here we have people who. This is another relative clause, people who leave their work in tourism. So, and a lot of the people who leave their work in tourism. Here we have another relative clause. First one, we saw a relative clause that contain which. Then, as we saw, we have another one, people who. So, a relative clause should contain, for example, which or who. Let's see if we have another example about relative clause. As you see, people who choose. There were many people who chose to remain. Another one, it was written already. Do we have more? These were people that. People that. So, when we talk about people, we can say people who or people that. For relative clause, you have to use which, who, or that. We can use that or who for people and which or that for things. So people that, let's see if we have more words or more sentences that contain relative clause. Yeah. Walls which were almost 4 meters high. Walls. So we used which for things. That's it. Let's go to the following exercise to make clear that if you got the rule. First sentence, Jericho is a small city which stands in a deep valley. Jericho is a small city which stands in a deep valley. Which stands in a deep valley is a relative clause that add extra information or important information to the clause before. Jericho is a small city. Stop, it means we have independent clause. But if we want to add extra information, we can use which and then another clause which stands in a deep valley. Let's go to the second one. This is a famous salt lake that is 400 meters below sea level. Third one, there are lots of people who work in tourism in Jericho. These were also the people, number 4, that built the first city. Again, we can put period and stop For example, after the word city, and in this case we have independent clause, but if we want to explain more, to add extra information, we can continue by adding which for things, which or that, and who or that for people. As you see, this is the famous Salt Lake. That is 400 meters below sea level. Let's go to the question number 1. The task says, look at the sentence again, pick the best way to complete the statements. Number 1 to 6. Question number 1. Sentence 1 to 4 all have 2 parts, and each has a verb or be, but only one has a verb. Number 1, A, right? Yeah, that's it. Number 1, A. Number 1, A. Number 2, because both parts have a verb, they are both phrases, clauses. I think you know the answer. Yeah, it's clauses. B. Number 3, the clause in bold adds important information about the subject noun or the verb. The other clause, of course, the right answer is a noun. You see? Number 2, number 3, the subject noun, yeah, the right answer. Number 4, the first word in bold joins the clauses and maybe who, which, or be who, which, or that. It could be who, which, or that. So the right answer is B. The answer is B. Let's go to number 5. When this focus is a thing, the joining word may be A, who, that, or which, or that. The answer is, of course, B. Number 6, when the focus is a person or people, the joining word may be who or that, which or that. The answer is A. Now, let's go to the exercise number 2. Now it's your turn to join the following parts to make whole sentences that contain clauses. Number 1, Jack and Tina are the people. You can choose who, which, or that. Do not forget that we can use who or that for people and which or that for things. First one, Jack and Tina, the people. Who, you can continue. Yeah. Who, for example, visited Jericho on their bikes. Let's go to number 2. Jericho is the green city. Of course, we shouldn't or we mustn't choose who because we have a city, so we have to use which or that. Stands, thank you, that's right, between Jerusalem and Amman. Number 3, the dates are one of the many crops, which or that, and the answer grow well in this area. As you see, people who or that, city, which or that, crops, which or that, and then we can choose the complement, the other part of the sentence. Let's go to the number 4. The Dead Sea is the salty lake. Salty lake, and which or that is a short way south of Jericho, the complement of this sentence. Number 5, Jake was the one. Of course, we're talking about people, someone, so we have to choose who or that. Number 5, yeah, thank you, that's right, went swimming in the Dead Sea. The last one, Tina was the one. You can choose one of them. Thank you, that's right. Who or that took a photo of him in the water. That's it, all about the relative clauses. I hope you got the lesson correctly, and the homework is you have to form a new sentence, 3 sentences, let's say, that contains relative clauses. Thank you. Goodbye.